I just want to review this e-commerce website that I built. Originally, the founder came to me asking for a website to dynamically price curtains as the user specified their parameters. The business model was for curtains to be made in India, hence lower costs. However, he'd forgotten to factor in the stockholding required in India, because it required too much capital. So it was changed to buying Indian silk curtains, Indian silk in UK and made in UK, which obviously makes the margins less attractive and so less competitive. There was also talk about future import lines, so I had to build the system not only so it would fulfill this requirement, but it could be easily extendable in the future. It was successfully built and migrated to the cloud, the engine yard cloud, but that's subsequently been removed for commercial reasons because it's just not going to be used. The founder was a marketing man, so he mandated the use of Roman cards as the interface to the payment gateway because he liked their marketing facilities. And this caused a problem because it's not a Spree supported off-site payment gateway, so I had to develop various simulators and stuff. Okay, so I'll show you a little bit about Spree. Here's the Spree website. This is the sort of development guide pages. And it is a very good, mature, open source e-commerce system built within Ruby on Rails. And Ruby on Rails, I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. And here you can, it has an API so that things can be sent from anything, iPods or whatever. So it's very scalable. But when you install Spree, you can connect with any database, SQLite, or I use Postgres, and this is the Postgres client to communicate with the database. And you can see here all the tables. This is just a standard install of Spree, orders, addresses, products, the whole thing. So there's 60 tables there, and it's good. Right, I'll just show you a little bit. This is sort of a diagram for the Ruby on Rails, which has the model view controller built in from the ground up, and it can connect to any database you want to. So say if a browser comes in, it goes into the web server, Nginx or whatever you're running, the Apache, or also running the passenger module. And here it goes to the Rails router, which then finds the route and sends it to the appropriate controller. And this is, on my diagram here, it simulates these are the various routes going to the various controller methods. So we go across to my diagram here. On one side is the browser, what the user would see and what the user's experience is. And this is the connecting Spree engine and model view controller with the assets here. And this is the database, the Postgres database with the 60 tables. And I'll probably talk a little bit more about some of this stuff later on. Okay, so the user comes in and goes to initially the home page, and then the taxon page of various colors or categories, and then gets down to the particular product they want, specifying the various parameters they want for their curtain. And as it does so, the JavaScript prices it and then populates the price and spec, which then gets added via Ajax back into the orders. And it's nice to have the Ajax because this gives the user more of an application feel rather than straight a web page. And the JavaScript for the product is made in CoffeeScript, and I will also use Sass CSS to give a 3D look to it. And here is the web page of CoffeeScript. And CoffeeScript is a language that compiles into JavaScript. So you get some of the better features of JavaScript without sort of verbose syntax. And Sass is CSS with superpowers. Syntactically awesome style sheet. So again, the same sort of wrapper around CSS cascading style sheet. Right, I think we'll go through a order. And I shall show you what the customer sees. And here you can choose the various types, you can add them in, You know, this is, I've only just got Indian Dupion, or you can have them colours. But populated it from the suppliers. And I created a script to with a bit of heuristics to populate it in the right colours, and they're pretty good. Okay, so let's just pick one. Euro Tabasco, and I can put in some. You can see the price coming through there, and if the user changes once it makes it bigger, it gets bigger. You can again, it changes there. If you change the heading, that's the default. This is using less material, so the price goes down. If you add to the cart, you need to make sure you tick that, so you understand that. And it gets added to the cart with Ajax. And here, and this, you can have as many curtains as you order, it'll just list them down. It just gives you the feel of what it would look like. And as you go through, so check out, here we've gone, this is back to Roman cart, similar sort of look and feel, and you can continue, go to the checkout, and all the standard stuff that you would expect from that. Let's continue shopping. And say if you made a mistake and you I want to carry on, you just want to get some samples, so we want to get a sample of prune. So it's then gone into there, it's free, and the checkout this time, let's go in, I've got us some just remember me and my address, and the checkout this time is here. Rather than going through Roman cart, it's going through the Spree standard one, so I'll go through that. Same billing address, same address, yeah, it's all fine. Same continue. Yeah, it's free. It would be normally £12 a metre. Continue. There you go, successfully, this is back to the store. That's, you've ordered that, and various emails sent and stuff. So let's look at, that's the front end side of Spree, and then also the back end side of Spree, you have an admin. I think I've got it. Let's see if I'm already logged in because of that. Yeah, I am. So that's the order, today's date, and let's see, it's silk sample and the various customer details. Yeah, as we've just put it in, payments, it shouldn't have any payments because it's a Roman cart payment, but it was free. So back to and to the orders. Now, yeah, if this is one I've done earlier for the heading and cinnamon, this was actually, bought, customer details. This was using the simulator I created, and the payments. This is the Roman cart. It showed that it's it went through fine. Yeah, right, that's we scroll down there, covered all that. I'll just talk a little bit about the implementation details that because one of the requirements I wanted as minimal changes as possible for the Spree system so that any future upgrades would be easy. I obviously added in a migration to, this is the standard Spree migration, and what Spree does, you have all these migrations so you can populate against your own database, and here it was the one I added in to the line items, the Spree spec. Yes, monkey patch, let's show that. Monkey patching is a really nice feature of Ruby that you can dynamically change classes on the fly. And let's see. So basically changing app configuration with these various things, and this is the parameters that gives for the dynamic pricing, the various multiples and various other stuff that you want to put in. And this gives here it updates the preferences in the Spree SQL table. I'll show you the preferences. Here's the side edition stuff. These are the various things that you put in there, and some of it like currency and stuff is a standard, and standard for the Spree. There wasn't much there, so I just added some stuff into it as I needed to. Yeah, I had to change the tax on listing for the front page so that it only it didn't list all the products on the front page. It had the sort of hierarchy of things as you've seen. Yeah, and the feedback, because it was Roman Cart wasn't a Spree supported system, I had to create a route through. So the routes here, it's like the routes there, but for this thing, for then coming through here, and I shall show you that. This is the route. This is the standard Spree stuff, goes through to its own engine, and so cart completed, which is what Roman Cart would, I'd register with Roman Cart to call back on the success or otherwise of the payment. It goes to cart completed, and this cart completed. The cart completed here, and it would go through, get the various parameters from the XML, but also what it would do is make sure that the feedback was valid. Because it was coming from Roman Cart, I couldn't add the cross-site request forgery in that's built into Rails. I think from 3 onwards, we're using Rails 4 here to make sure that it's a valid payment. And what that would do, it would check the store ID was correct, and also the items it would contain within the XML from Roman Cart were valid against the order. So I'm effectively putting back in that cross-site request forgery MD5 hash. And I had to just make a few changes just to show the spec, because that was not part of Spree. That's pretty much it. Yeah, okay, I'll just show you the auto-populate script. Again, this wasn't part of the initial spec, because there's so many silks, and it takes so much effort to all the various populating details. I created a script here, Ruby, as a Ruby file, and what it would do from here, it would go through to the supplier, get their the silks listed from their site. Again, this was particular for the Ponji's one, but could be easily changed. And then what it would do for the various colours, it would shrink the image back down to 1 pixel, and then go through the colour cube to decide which one of the 8 colours that it was needing to be added to here of the colour cube. Right, I think that's about it.